shores of old Lake Erie stands our alma mater true. Fredonia state we proudly honor, with its colors white and blue.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Reflections of Fredonia. My name is Jack Croxton, and I am a retired faculty from the psychology department here at Fredonia. I taught here for over 40 years, and it was a memorable, wonderful time that I spent on the faculty. And I was able to meet so many wonderful students during the time that I taught here. So in retirement, I was looking for something to do, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice to talk to alumni of Fredonia and find out what they're up to these days, and perhaps ask them to reflect a little bit about their experiences here at Fredonia. And thus was the beginning of this podcast. We are actually recording right here in Fredonia at the Fredonia Radio Systems. That is Fredonia's student-run radio station. And so far, it's been a lot of fun talking to our alumni, and I think we're going to enjoy the guests that we will be speaking with today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chloe Kowalik. I graduated in May of 2024, and while I was a student here, I was a double major in communications, journalism, and psychology, and I had minors in English and political science.
For today's podcast, we have a very special guest. So if you would please introduce yourself, simply give us your name and the year you graduated from Fredonia.
Hi, I'm Christine Starks. I graduated from Fredonia twice in 1991 and 1995.
So Christine, what did you do as a student here at Fredonia? What did you study? Are there any particular courses that you remember?
I was, my first degree was in elementary education, and I had some fabulous professors that I still remember and think of fondly. Can I say their names? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Sure.
Absolutely.
One was Dr. Ludis, who is no longer with us, as well as Dr. Murphy, Dr. Conley. Wow, there's a lot of misses for many right there. But I had a wonderful experience as an undergraduate at Fredonia.
I'm so happy to hear that. Sometimes you have those professors that really make an impact on you and really inspire you in your career, and that's just really awesome to hear.
It really was the professors that made the biggest difference in my freshman year.
Aw. Yeah, and you mentioned that you got your master's as well.
And a big part of that was Dr. Conley.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super cool. So what kind of made you want to come to Fredonia initially?
I am someone who grew up on Long Island and came to Fredonia, one of the many that I know have done the same. Fredonia was the furthest state school away from home that wasn't UB. I grew up very near Stony Brook, and if I was going to come that far, it needed to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And this was also outside of the radius of where my parents were willing to visit and do college tours. So that told me they weren't going to stop in unexpectedly. So that made Fredonia a great choice. Oh, they also had an ice skating rink. And they still do, but one of the few colleges that had ice skating, and that was interesting to me.
Yeah, they actually still offer ice skating as a class you can take. I think it's like 2 credits or something like that. And it's just a fun little extracurricular that students can do.
I took it.
Did you take it?
I landed on my head once.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
I took it last year, and I also fell. And it was really unfortunate. But I did. That was how I learned how to ice skate, actually.
I was trying something new.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have.
Well,
Right.
Can you ice skate now?
I can skate.
Okay.
Can't do tricks, but I can skate.
That's good. You know what? That's better than where I'm at, so.
Yeah, that ice skating rink must have been fairly new when you came to Fredonia.
It was, and it was awesome. And the gentleman that drove the Zamboni at the time is someone I'm still in contact with, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you happen to go to a lot of the hockey games at that time?
At that time, yeah, it was one of the things to do. I'm sure it still
Yes.
is one of the things to do.
Yes, and I know in that around when you were a student here, that was when we were a very good team and
Yes.
winning championships and
Matt
stuff like
Meredith
that.
was the coach, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
And he's still coaching.
That's-
He's still coaching
Jeff
today.
Meredith, I believe.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Matt was one of his sons.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Meredith is still here. He's still cooking. So.
And I think his sons were in the same age group as my kids, and that was just through school. Sorry, I misspoke.
No, you're okay. No, you're absolutely
No.
right though. Yeah, he's still here, and yeah, super cool. A lot of
Right.
people still go to the games. I mean, there was a lot of people at Pink the Rink last night, and it's still a very like Fredonia thing. So.
Yeah, that's really a nice fundraiser that
Yes.
that they have,
Mhm.
that the Pink the Rink, to
I,
raise cancer awareness.
I
Yeah.
attended a lot of Pink the Rinks. As part of the alumni board, we would do a fundraiser for cancer,
Mhm.
and we would have the basket raffle out front.
Yes, I actually volunteered at it last year. I sat because I was a president's ambassador, so I was with Patty Feraldi and all them, and we were doing the basket raffle.
Absolutely.
So I
was,
might have actually crossed paths with you.
I was
before.
probably the one writing down the ticket numbers of the winners.
Well, there you go.
That's so cool. We might have crossed paths and not even known it yet.
That's right. So I wanted to ask you, any other like favorite memories or experiences from your time as a student here?
The ice skating rink.
Yeah.
Um,
Any organizations or?
I too was. I don't know if it was an ambassador, but I used to do the tours for prospective freshmen.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I was a tour guide. I was an RA. Something that was really fun my senior year was I was part of the Fredonia Hamburg student teaching program. So that was pretty cool because I was fairly new at the time, and I was pretty proud to be selected to do that. After that, I did a international teaching exchange in Wales.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty cool. That was Dr. Conley again. I believe Dr. Doby was part of that trip.
Mm.
It was fun.
Great.
Super cool.
Yeah, I think you said when you were an RA, that was back in the day when the Buffalo Bills would
Absolutely.
have training camp here.
Absolutely. And we got to come back early as an RA, so they would still be here. So there were times where we would cross paths with the players, and that was super fun. And they would just go downtown, and it was great.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I imagine some of them looked pretty giant.
Yeah,
as football
because
players.
I was
Yeah.
much smaller at the time, too.
So, kind of moving towards a more like professional look. So, we noticed on your resume, and this is going to be your like official title that I got from your resume, but we see that you're currently a building program administrator at Lakeshore Central Schools, and you're also working as a consultant. So, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So at Lakeshore, building program administrator is kind of a unique title.
Mm-hmm.
The way I explain it is that I am the principal of their smallest building, which is where our youngest kids are, our pre-K students.
Mm-hmm.
So to balance out the responsibilities with all the other principals, I get a lot of odd jobs, so to speak. I manage some grants, some special programs, basically anything the superintendent asks me to do, which gets to be pretty varied at
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, I'm sure. My mom actually went to Lakeshore. That's where she graduated from.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, super cool.
I wonder, any particular challenges you've found in your job, and what's been particularly gratifying?
What's gratifying is those 4-year-olds that just come in and they bounce right in and they're so super happy and
Aw.
they love each other and they just are so excited to be at school every day and they keep coming. One of the challenges is one of my responsibilities is setting up students that are not able to attend school for a variety of reasons. And it seems as though a lot of them lately are connected to mental health in some way, which is a challenge for me because, we want to find ways to keep kids in school and to get them back into school. So that's a challenge for us right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what kind of was your path to get to where you are now? How did you end up at Lakeshore? And I saw a lot of your educational experiences, and you have a lot on there.
It's kind of a odd, twisty path. So I left Fredonia and did some teaching in various local districts. Got married, had some babies, stayed home for a few years, and then went back to work.
Mm-hmm.
When I went back to work, I taught in Williamsville. I was a reading recovery teacher, which is for the students in first grade that have the most difficult time learning how to read. And that was awesome because, again, it's kind of like how I describe the pre-K students. When the light goes on, it's really just amazing. And that was one of the most rewarding pieces. From there, I went to BOCES as a staff developer, specializing in literacy. Did a lot of training, worked with a lot of teachers in the area, and then stayed with BOCES and moved along to become a supervisor of instructional programs, which is, again, an odd title. I'm full of odd titles. But at BOCES, the supervisor of instructional programs is similar to a principal, but the way they're organized, they're schools within schools. So I was responsible for a number of special education classrooms and their staff and their students and everything that went along with that. And then from there, I went to a local district as director of curriculum, special ed, and CIO. And then from there to Lake Shore.
Awesome. I love it.
So I noticed that at one point you actually did some adjunct work here
I
at
did.
Fredonia. How did
I
you
almost
like
forgot
that?
about that. It was so long ago that I adjuncted. It was when I was working at BOCES, and I taught one of the methods classes and a seminar, and it was great. It was the seniors as they were getting ready to become teachers, and it was always fun. I think I did that few years, 3, 4, 5 years, somewhere in there. Can't remember.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that was super fun. It was a methods course.
So at one point you were taking that course and then ended up teaching the course.
Everything's a cycle.
Yeah, honestly.
Everything's a cycle.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we actually see you've been pretty involved with Fredonia still. You're serving on the Alumni Board of Directors. You mentioned, I think before the interview, that you're the president.
At the moment, I'm the president of
Awesome.
the Alumni Board of the Executive Board. I've been on the board I've had to step down and come back on. You're only allowed to have so many terms in a row, and then you got to step off and come back on. So
Yeah.
I'm on a come back on stint. It's one of those things that, when you come to Fredonia as a 17, 18-year-old, and you get to this point in your life, you never thought that you would be president of the alumni board.
Yeah.
It's something you never think you would do. I never thought I would grow up to be a school administrator. Something else I never thought I would ever grow up to be was I served 3 terms as a Chautauqua County legislator.
Oh, wow.
And from someone coming downstate to Chautauqua County and then serving 3 terms as a legislator, I thought I still don't know how to describe that. That was very humbling and rewarding.
Yeah, that's definitely a big switch.
It is, and I'm not a political science type of person at all.
But that's really a great public service, though, to take on that kind of a role.
Yeah, before I did that, I did a lot of volunteering in the village with the festivals and different events, and it just seemed like a different twist of community service for me.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Why did you choose to stay so involved in Fredonia?
I think because when I came as a freshman and I described how I went home and I wasn't coming back, it was that feeling of home, I guess. From coming so far away to knowing absolutely no one, and then right away being able to feel connected, I wanted to be able to give that to someone else.
I love that.
Yeah, very, very nice. So how do you feel your time at Fredonia helped to shape your career and where you are today?
Absolutely networking. When I was subbing way back when, there was a principal, Dr. Greg Gibbs, and I got a little note in my mailbox one day that said, "See me." And when you got a note as a sub that said, "See me," you're immediately thinking that something terrible happened.
Yeah. Wow.
When the principal's like, "See me." And he had asked me to stay and do a long-term sub position. So that was my first step in with some confidence, and that led to full-time work. So it was great.
Wow.
And Dr. Gibbs is a Fredonia alum as well.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Okay, that's wonderful. So I'm sure in all the different things you've been doing, you've managed to meet a lot of interesting people and got to make a lot of friends along the way.
Absolutely.
That's great. So kind of looking back, do you have any advice that you would offer current Fredonia students?
take advantage of experiences. Be on campus. My daughter is a Fredonia alum, and we live down the street. And when she chose Fredonia over other colleges as a incoming freshman coming from Fredonia High School, I strongly encouraged, pretty much made her, live on campus her first year so that she would have the connections and the experiences and living in the dorms. And she has friends now that she made that first semester, which is the same experience I had and wanted someone else to. Take advantage of opportunities, make friends, stretch and do something you wouldn't have expected. I thought I was going to teach first grade my entire life, and that's nowhere near what I'm doing now.
Absolutely.
Well, it certainly seems like you've been a good role model for the advice that you're giving to everybody, that
I hope so.
You've been doing exactly those things.
I hope so.
Well, I think that just about does it for our interview today. Christine, is there anything else you think you might like to add?
I don't think so. This has been so much more fun than I had anticipated. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you had a great time.
So thank you again so much for appearing on our podcast today. And I am Dr. Jack Croxton.
And I'm Chloe Kowalik, and we'll see you in the next podcast.